Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another session of Captivating Conversations. And I have got a captivating person for you this evening. Her name is Vibeke Foss. How are you, Vibeke?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very well. I am very well indeed. And I'm really looking forward to having this chat with you because the thing that most struck me about you was the gorgeous geek. And that's something that really hit me right between the eyes. And you are a gorgeous geek and you're pretty talented as well. So with your permission, can I just read out a little bit about your bio? Is that okay?
Yes, please. Please do.
I have to read it out because I can't remember it. Vibeke is a web designer who builds websites for service businesses, coaches, and consultants. So if you're a coach, a consultant, or a service business, and you had your site too long, or you needed to be looked at or reviewed or updated or whatever it is, this is the lady you need to talk to, all right? Because she does the job better than anyone else I've ever seen. Now, besides taking care of tech, she also helps the clients understand how to communicate on their website in a way that their ideal client and visitors go, yes, I've come to the right place. I love that bit. Yes, I've come to the right place. So it means that if you have Vibeke build a website for you, then your ideal clients will feel comfortable and know they're in the right place. And that is a talent that not many web designers have. So thank you for sharing your time with me.
Thank you. Thank you for the intro.
That's okay. Here we go. My first question, before we talk business about you, okay? What drives you, Vibeke? I mean, what gets you out of bed in the morning? What's important to you in life?
I think like my main driver, like the overall picture, is just the freedom I have to maintain the lifestyle of freedom and learning, especially nowadays, to be more like in my body than in my head. Because I'm a very brainy person and I'm getting more and more attracted to anything that has to do with connecting with yourself and living more authentically and all these kind of things that are coming out more and more now, even online, even in business, that people are learning to be more truthful to themselves and to others. And so I seek out activities that I can do. I do like to do yoga, meditation, and kind of over the years gotten that as part of my lifestyle on and off, because it's a challenge sometimes to do all the things that are good for you to do. But yeah, connecting with people and having really deep conversations, it's something that I love to have. So even if I meet someone for the first time, I would love right away to talk about, what we're feeling, what we're going through, and avoid a little bit of chit chat of the weather and, what's your job. So if the person is open for it and it's the right ambience, then this is something that kind of attracts me to people and to situations and to events. It kind of feels very fulfilling.
So you like connecting with people, but you're also a lifelong learner, right?
Yeah, I'm very much a learner. One of these tests that they make you take sometimes, I had learner on top, so I do have that. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Tell me then, let's share with the audience, what do you really do, okay? And why do you do it?
So what I do in business, I build websites, basically. The technical part is, what I thought that I would only do when I started my business. I realized people were not so good at understanding what the website needs to have. So I also help people communicate on the website, like you said in the beginning, so that when people come into a website, it's clear right away, this person helps people like me with problems like mine, have people wanting to keep reading and clicking through and ideally contacting the person who has the business. And so that psychological part, that it's not just tech, the website, I said, it's really much more about the words you use and how you make people feel so welcome and that you are the right person to help with whatever problem they have. So yeah, it's a big part of the project, actually. It's almost more than the actual technical part. And
Tell me a bit more about that. That's interesting. Tell me a bit more.
So I think, as all of us know now, online, people are overwhelmed with information. And even I noticed, like a video, I would watch maybe 20, 30 seconds before I want to do something else. I'm not patient enough unless it's a learning video or it's something. If it's someone just sharing some advice, I listen to it for a short time. If it's a long text, I feel like, oh, it's too much. So what I love to do is like, okay, how do I behave online? When do I start paying attention? And when does my mind start to drift? And I also tell this to my clients, that they start thinking about it also for writing their content, and kind of how can you keep it short but to the point, and write the things that make people feel something, that creates an emotional response. Because that's what I see as well. What makes me stop and read? And usually it sounds like, oh my God, this is exactly like me, or this is exactly my situation. This is exactly what I want to achieve. Something that makes you feel something, it what makes you pay attention. So for me, I want to translate all of that I can learn about my clients on the journey we go on together, like how their clients are, what words their clients use, which words we can use on the website. So the website doesn't sound like just a business card with standard information about you. Here's my services, contact me. It's more about like, I understand you, I know what you're going through, without being judgmental, but just having kind of this relatable situation and points spread out through the website to make people go like, oh yeah, exactly, this person really gets me. And I think that's the source of so much of what we all need. We want to feel understood. And once that feeling is in place, people are so much more interested in reading about services and about, you know, what you can provide when you have that little extra step that a lot of people forget, like how to connect with someone and make them feel like, wow, I like this person is not going to judge me, this person is going to understand me and provide a solution. So yeah, I don't know, I'm super excited about this topic.
Well, I mean, I raved a bit about you in the intro, okay? But the reason for it is because when I read your LinkedIn profile, it blew me away. Okay. And I would suggest people who are watching this to please check out your LinkedIn profile. And I'll also put that available to people so they can find it as well. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
By the way, you mentioned something really interesting, that when it's hard enough to get people to go to a website in the first place, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Then to keep them there is an even bigger challenge, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned a really interesting point. You said an emotional response, right? So if I'm understanding you correctly, you can help your clients build a website that creates an emotional response for their ideal potential client. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, then you're a rare resource. Because
it's a good combination of skills.
Because most designers don't understand that aspect of marketing. Okay.
Yeah.
They can build pretty websites, but they don't get the this person gets me type thinking.
Yeah, the feeling thing, exactly. Yeah, it's a good combination kind of like knowing the tech and knowing the emotions. And I see in the world as well, you know, so people are really good at the back end, but they don't make it pretty. Some people know how to make it pretty, but not how to communicate. So yeah, it's a lot to keep in mind when a person decides who they should work with as a web designer as well, to have some questions in advance to make sure they choose the right one for whatever, you know, they need. And I know I work a lot with service providers, and a service needs that emotional element more than a product.
Yeah, absolutely. And truly, you hit the nail on the head. When someone visits the site and think, this person gets me, and you've got them. They're going to at least check it out, right? Rather than just a normal 1 or 2 nanoseconds, right?
Yeah. And it's so nice when you have clients going back to you, say, oh, I looked at your website and I just love everything. You know, that's what every business owner wants to hear. And this is kind of what I was like, let's try to achieve that for the clients I have that need that guidance, definitely.
So Vibeke, tell me, what got you started in this business? I mean, obviously you're talented, but what got you started in this field?
I escaped corporate. So I was in a job and I was quite miserable. And I just wanted to get away. Like they say motivation factors, you know, it's either you really move with passion forward towards something or you run away from something. Yeah. And I've been mostly running away from things, but at the same time, I have accidentally moved towards something really beautiful. So I just kind of, I guess, the running towards wanting to take care of myself, not staying in that job that I wasn't happy in. So I just choose to try to do something. And I started to be like a virtual assistant, administrative consultant. That was I was good at that point. I was, taking care of my bosses and making their life easier. But But then I didn't know how to run that as a business. I had no clue. So I just worked on my website and procrastinated all the sales and marketing. I was learning a lot, but it's scary to put yourself out there. So people actually got more word of me having built my own website, and they thought it looked pretty. And that's how I started to get requests for people wanting help with their website. And bit by bit, it ended up being that I got out there for, because this was the thing that was natural for me to talk about. I love to help people with it. I kind of didn't need to think about how do I market this, because people do need tech. They also need administrative support, but they don't always want to pay for it. Tech, most people are like, oh my God, I can't do it. Someone else needs to do it. So it grew over the years. And I'm so happy now, because I never thought, 8 years ago that I would do web design or all the things that I could have done, and I ended up doing something I really enjoy so much. So yeah.
As a gorgeous geek, you said something that fascinated me, that you were running towards something really beautiful. Can you tell me more about that?
It's more about, I think, having the realization that I wasn't happy, and that I wanted to just not at that point kind of give the power of my life in someone else's hands, as in, of course, you're very affected by the surroundings in a company. And I had many really good jobs before, so I know how it is to feel good in a job. So it was more like, okay, I don't know really what I want to do, but I want to take care of my mental health. And I need to remove myself from the situation where I just didn't kind of fit in. And so I think okay, it was running away, but it's also running towards, I need to take care of myself. This is important. So I'll see which way that can work out. And that was the start of this journey of suddenly having a lifestyle that people want to have without having that as a goal, that I want, the freedom and the lifestyle and the flexibility. Suddenly I was like, oh, I have this stuff that everyone's banging on about. And I didn't plan for that. I just wanted to free myself from things that were dragging me down on an emotional level.
Okay, well, this freedom you're getting and enjoying is obviously coming from a client base. So tell me, who are your ideal clients? They
have developed over the years. Now there are consultants and coaches and service businesses. I'm moving towards more businesses that have already a website, and they need kind of to revamp it. They need to have their business image and vibe really reflected on the website, because it's outdated. But I also still work with a lot of new people. My very first clients were female coaches. I had that super niche market because that's the people I attracted, mostly because of the self-development interest and being around those people. So, I mean, to put it all in one bucket is really service providers, people who are a small team or one person providing one-on-one services very often to their clients. Okay. But it's a lot of coaches and consultants in that pool, and some random different kind of service companies that I haven't bucketed yet, because they're just spread out wide. Everything from architecture to some tech companies. So yeah.
So really, it's the one person show, the solopreneur type approach, rather than the corporate area. Is that correct? Yeah,
that's true. I mean, I have some small clients that might be more corporate, that's they're more businessy. Yeah. And they have a team, and maybe I just talk to a member of the team as opposed to the one who leads the team. Okay. So that's okay. But if it's a huge corporation and company, that's not my area of expertise.
You've been there and done that.
I've been inside them, so I can understand, but it's I know how to do the communication with one-on-one individuals and with kind of smaller smaller areas. So the big corporations, they have other web designers that can do the job. But yeah, definitely teams up to 20 having something going on, totally fine. I do work with different sectors there.
Let's talk about these solopreneur service providers, your ideal type client, right? What would be the key outcomes that you can provide to them?
Yeah, a little bit mentioning something that I already said. I mean, of course, the actual website, the technical website, that also should work. It should be solid technically. It shouldn't give you grief every week because something breaks down. So having all that safety and security plugins, on the back end, the boring stuff that no one thinks about, to make sure that they have a solid quality tech setup, but also the part that, okay, their business should be completely reflected in the content, in the colors, in the fonts, like the whole, I don't do branding as like a package, but a part of the web design process is for those who need it, choosing brands, colors and fonts and so forth without me kind of having that as a brand package, but it's still happening during the process as we get to know each other, as I know what kind of style they like, as I get to know how their clients are and what they relate to. So it's the tech part, and it's that communication part, and it's the looking pretty part.
Okay.
Basically, it's three things actually. Actually, three codes after all.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But of the website platforms, are there any in particular that you specialize in? Like,
I
area of your expertise, for example.
Yeah, WordPress is where I really know everything in and out. I have done some Wix websites for those who don't want to do WordPress, because of course it has a little bit extra tech level, needs a little bit more care, but of course it has all the customization opportunities and like Wix and Squarespace. I now just learned about Webflow as well. So I can work with some of these website builders as well for those who prefer not to do WordPress. But WordPress is the one that I feel like can always grow with you as a business.
And we're talking website.org, not website.com, right? It's where
exactly.
People have their own domain name rather than,
Yeah, exactly, where they have to pay for hosting and have the full customization opportunities. Because the website, the free WordPress.com, whenever you want something really customized, you run into a wall. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. So that's why people move over to the other one.
So the advice you're giving is look at wordpress.org, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Can I just ask you one more question? You got time for this? In this world right now, we seem to be, this is a question without notice, so I hope you don't mind, okay? But there seems to be so much hacking going on in this world, right?
Yeah.
And loss of intellectual property and a whole lot of things. I mean, do you also provide a service that gives people some sort of security in terms of their website, or do you just show them who they should go to in order to do that?
I do help them with the website maintenance if they want to do that, which is basically keeping the software up to date. Because with WordPress in particular, which is unfortunately the one that has more like hacker risk, is the reason people get hacked is because they didn't update the software. I think the percentage is like 97% or something of the websites that do get hacked is because people haven't updated the software. That means like the actual theme, it means WordPress itself, plugins. Yeah, it's basically plugins, the theme, and WordPress itself. And everyone who keeps working on this and developing the different softwares, they always update them to get stronger, to have the latest feature, to work with each other. So this is the service I provide us, and I can do it for them if they know that they're never going to get to it. But it's basically going in maybe once a week, every 2 weeks, update all the plugins. And that makes your website fairly safe. And worst case scenario, have the backups. If the worst case scenario should be that you need like a security expert, then I can delegate to someone. But if you do that preventive work, even if your website should get hacked one day, you should have a backup and then be able to restore and then make sure that whatever loophole they found is going to be closed. So yeah, that's something I bang on about quite often as well, that people should do their website maintenance because it's boring, but it's more boring when your website is down and doing weird things.
Or if your website's disappeared.
Yeah, it disappears. Some website I talked to some people on LinkedIn was redirecting to some Asian website. Suddenly someone had stolen a domain. I don't know. It was just like all kind of things happening because they hadn't really paid attention to their website. So yeah, it's like a little baby. You have to take care of it. You have to give it some, love and care every now and then. Yeah, it doesn't require too much, but you can't just put it out there and totally forget about it. It needs, I say, put it as your homepage and you will always know that it's up and running. And if something happens, if it happened yesterday, you can always rectify it. If it happened 2 months ago, your backups may be of the broken website. So put your homepage, put your website as your homepage. That's my kind of best advice for just staying on top of things so that you avoid the situation.
Thank you very much. That is really very valuable advice to people. Okay. Tell me something. What's the best way for people to contact you?
Best way is sending me an email. I'm always checking my emails, which of course is a little bit hard to spell my domain name, but it's a hello@gorgeous-geek.com, or go to my website and check out there kind of the different pages I have and so forth, which is of course www.gorgeous-geek.com. Yeah, I think you'll put the link underneath because spelling the word gorgeous is complicated sometimes.
Vibeke, thank you so very much for sharing your time. I truly enjoyed the opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to get to know you and to be on this little show. So yeah, thanks to you as well, Peter.
Okay.